All right, we'll bring this meeting to order.
All right, so thank you. Right. And again, I do appreciate it.
No problem. Have a great day.
You too.
First order of business is review and approve the warrants. Let's see it. Actually, we usually do the minutes first. Yeah, you do. That's not the way we do things around here, right?
Yeah, from my report.
What's that? You did.
We'll do it now in minutes. I read the minutes, and move that we approve them as written.
Now, second.
Thank you.
Sure. Now we read the warrants. I move that the warrants be approved as presented.
I'll second that.
You rolling?
The 4 copies notice of election.
Oh, yeah, we gotta sign those.
So there's four separate copies that you'll all have to sign for Debbie. She'll have my eye.
Yes, we'll do those for you. I think I've already signed them. Yep. Now there's the tree growth to sign somewhere, so get a supplement to sign. Yeah, it's the tree growth. Yeah. So this is a tree growth penalty.
Assessing refers to it as a supplemental.
Yeah, it is the way it's supposed to be,
The county regional assessment, supplemental. And all that.
penalty, but it's supplemental. $500.
That wasn't me, was it? I'm just checking.
Senator Blackroad?
Oh, no!
There's no other signatures here.
No, I can't do it. I can do it twice, so it looks somewhat similar, but
Yeah.
about the third time,
Just
it
go
doesn't
by
plug in.
hand.
No.
I was gonna tell that lady that money does grow on trees for me.
Oh, yeah, good trees, yeah.
I've been waiting a long time though, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just.
How many years usually, Joe?
yeah, a long time.
I wanted to tell you guys that they were all a little sidetracked off the actual article. But
Well,
I'm just giving you a preview, Chris, of what the town meeting's gonna be like. Like,
they won't show up.
you do every year.
I kinda understand, I
Those ones
understand,
usually do, Chris.
No, that's fine.
I understand the frustration, this can has been kicked down the road for so
Oh, yeah.
many years.
Yeah, for
And-
sure.
And I don't see any harm in looking into it, look to see how much it's gonna cost and take it to the town, see what they say.
Well, I think really what is helpful is just like with budget meetings, when we're talking about appropriating money for various articles, what the bottom line is in terms of what it does to the tax bill.
Right.
So if, you know, there's engineering and paving there, and you've got a real estimate in terms of how that would be reflected on the tax bill.
Right, yeah.
I mean, we didn't even get involved with the CMP poles gotta be moved and all.
Well, I was gonna bring that up.
You gotta, yeah, include everything, say, look, this is what it's gonna cost, does the town wanna do it, you know, or do it in stages, or.
That $369,000 that gone up, I mean, that was 2-3 years ago, so what's that gonna be?
You're looking at $500,000.
Yeah.
Oh, more than
You're
that.
looking at a good
I
$500,000.
did.
Last year before town meeting, it was $685,000 to raise that road 1 foot.
But that's not the paving part.
No,
No,
that's just gravel. That's
That's
just the
right.
gravel, just to raise it a
So
foot.
you have $1 million rolled into that.
Yeah,
No,
by the time, yeah,
Yeah, without paving, yeah.
yeah.
No, I mean, with paving.
Well, six
Oh,
hundred,
By the time you replace culverts and add gravel, you're gonna have.
Well, you're gonna, that's,
Two
yeah,
feet.
I bet you're right.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna look at $1.5 million
Right.
to do the whole thing, I'm sure.
And they're gonna.
Because that's about what it costs to do Douglas Hill,
Yeah,
to replace culverts and
Yeah.
repave Douglas Hill. They're about probably, I don't know how long River Road is off the top of my head, but Douglas Hill is 4 miles.
but I think, you know, we need to let them see that and let them make this decision to do it.
If they wanna pay for it, they can hire a contractor, I don't care.
I mean, that's what we have to anyway, to do that.
But that's bigger than what we can handle.
Right, yeah.
You know, it'd be some along down there.
Right.
So,
You
Yeah.
realize how many loads we did today with 7 yards at a time? I'm used to 20 yards at a time, man, it took forever.
Which road were you guys on today? Which one?
Douglas Hill, Decker. No,
Okay, the next thing
yeah.
on the agenda is the EMA officer.
So, Steve Sanderson said he doesn't want to do, or doesn't believe he has time to do the EMA function. And I'm not sure, that really ought to be, him anyway. Bruce took it on, when the previous gentleman retired or, quit, what have you. But we need to appoint somebody else. And,
Do we need to advertise this first before we appoint to see what we get for
if you want
people?
to,
Usually the fire chief recommends somebody, so.
he hasn't recommended,
He hasn't?
no, he told me that he didn't have somebody to recommend, but.
Okay.
You're showing some interest in it, right? So there's one person right on it.
I think he would be probably a good candidate for it.
Yeah.
You know, honestly, it's hard to find people to do these jobs, and when somebody puts their hand up.
Yeah, waving the flag.
Really, yeah.
So I would move to appoint Tom to be the,
EMA director?
EMA director for the town of Holland.
I'll second that.
Want to vote on it?
Yep.
All right, you are the new EMA director. You're looking at me kind of funny.
No?
Good, go find me some money.
Is the storm gonna classify as an emergency storm?
I doubt it.
Because Portland did get hit with a lot of washouts.
Right, yeah.
They never do it. Cumberland County falls in the same category as all the big cities that
I
have
know.
good infrastructure.
Yeah.
If we were in York County, it'd be different, or Oxford County would be different. That's what happened with Elliott.
Yeah.
Next thing on the agenda is a CEO appointment.
I think, first thing we need to do is, vote to decide whether we want to accept Don Kent's resignation. You know, he can resign and state so, but we have to either accept it or not.
Right.
I mean, we can't force him to come back to work, but.
We ought to sign that then.
Hmm?
We ought to sign that and get that done.
Resignation?
Vote to accept his resignation first?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a motion?
Well, we elect him, I know he doesn't want to, probably, he wants to resign, so I'll make a motion to accept Don's resignation as CEO.
All right, I second it. So now we get on to the second issue is an appointment for the CEO. And I put together a research thing that I did on CEOs. You get one, Jim?
Yeah.
You got one, Dwight?
I don't know what would be, I got it on my computer.
I used to know it here if you need to. We've been going on for year after year with illegal CEOs. Again, we've always appointed the CEO with the standard appointment letter. It didn't say anything other than you're appointed the code enforcement officer for the town of Baldwin. And then we depended upon the code enforcement officer to coordinate with the state, getting himself trained and whatnot. But in reality, that's not the way to do it. And a lot of these rules and regulations have been around for a long time. At least 2007, some of them much earlier. So what I found is that, interestingly, the code enforcement officer is primarily called out in the shoreline zoning ordinance. And that's where it says you appoint a code enforcement officer annually or reappoint them annually. But there's some contradictory guidance in various manuals, documents that I've filled out in here. Well, that's what I've given to you is the job description. You know, it turns out that we need a separate plumbing inspector, appointed specifically as a plumbing inspector, from the code enforcement officer. They can be the same person, but you have to appoint them separately.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Separate appointments.
We're assuming that.
We just assume you're the code, that's one of the codes, you do it.
Right, yeah.
But not necessarily, and in fact, you can break it down even further into various aspects of plumbing, subsurface, interior plumbing, So, that's the way it stands. So when we appoint a, code enforcement officer, we need to be explicit about what functions they can inspect for us. So we can appoint somebody, and then within 30 days, we're supposed to notify the state, and we notify the state fire marshal's office, interestingly enough. That's what's so squirrely about this thing, is that, when you look at it individually and I look at various forms and stuff, it doesn't always make sense right away. And that's why I took the time over the weekend to go through all these various documents. But, so, when Don resigned, he resigned without any notice, left us without anybody. I've talked to Jess Winters from Parsons Field, and he said he would accept an appointment as a backup. And I asked him if it was okay if we appointed him as a backup tonight to kind of carry us over until we got somebody identified as the primary, and he said that's fine.
Okay.
You know, we're in extremis at the moment. We have nobody. I was in here on Friday morning, and there were people stacked up coming to talk to the code enforcement officer.
Mm-hmm.
And I
So you hit your hand up.
Yeah, I talked with Don, because Don and I work together. I mean, this is, the planning board has always worked by consensus, and Don is a consensus person. He understands that. I point out that Nature's Wilderness made it through this time into 3 meetings, rather than month after month after month. And I want to credit Don with that.
Yeah.
And I'd also say that I got a thank you note from somebody because of how nice an experience they had coming in front of the planning board. I've never gotten a thank you note before. And I credit Don for that too. Don doesn't feel that he resigned, leaving the town in the lurch. He feels he was fired. He didn't have any choice. I'm not going to argue the rights or wrongs of it, you know. I'm just saying.
I just don't want him spreading rumors. That's one thing.
I don't know what the truth is, Jim. I don't know what the truth is. That's maybe why I'm talking.
Okay, yeah.
You know, maybe we can straighten something out, and maybe you guys could get Don back. That's what I would like to see. But he felt that without an appointment, he was fired. That, right or wrong, that's the way it is. And if you were to appoint him, he might be very willing to come back, but he needs an appointment. That's how he felt about it. And I'm just doing my best to maybe bring things together and stop rumors and make things work, because Don is a heck of a good code enforcement officer.
He knows his stuff. I gotta agree with that.
And he is amazing at getting people together where there has been real animosity, real problems, and he made it work.
Mm-hmm.
It had people trust each other who basically would not trust each other. And I just I can't speak highly enough of it. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
And I will say that we did not fire him. We did not criticize his performance as a code enforcement officer or reprimand him in any way. He interpreted our decision to wait on signing a form to being fired, which it was not. And so that's between him and us, but we'll address that ourselves, because there's some, I just want to respect his privacy. There's some other issues in there. And,
I just wish you guys could get together and appoint him again, that's all. That's all I'm asking.
well, what we want to do tonight is we want to get some coverage in, and I do believe Don has said that he would come in and help whoever we appoint to come in and pick up and, move on. And somebody has to come in and help, if we appoint Jess tonight, somebody needs to come in and help Jess know where the files are, know what the status of all the various, applications are and whatnot. And certainly would think we would ask Don to come in and do that, and he said that he would, so. But the first step is, I move that we appoint Jess Winters as a backup code enforcement officer.
I'll second that.
Favor? Yeah. Okay. As a backup. Yeah, the backup.
The backup.
He said he will not be a primary, he's like everybody else.
He's got his license too, right?
He's got all his licenses, right? Now, he said he also has somebody over there training as his backup, but that guy does not have all of his licenses. But he thought maybe in the longer term, we might use him as a backup over here. But we need to find, a primary code enforcement officer. So, we'll either have to do a search, or we're gonna have to talk to somebody, but in the meantime, I would propose that we talk to Don, and to at least come in and continue to perform the job for at least a grace period. I mean, it's up to him to decide whether he wants to do that or not.
I'd be helpful with that.
Normally, at least you give 2 weeks' notice, but, anyway, so.
Sounds like a plan.
And what was discovered is that, it is customary to have a backup person appointed. In general, towns do.
It's on the form.
Right, it's on the form. So in cases of emergencies, it could be an illness, an accident, you've got that person appointed as a backup.
You gotta have somebody.
Not, I'm sure not all towns do, but it's right on the form.
Well, you gotta
and
have a code
towns do.
enforcement officer on
Right.
duty all the time.
Yep.
It's getting harder and harder to do.
It is, yeah.
You know, what it's told is that I hate to say this, but he said that a fully qualified code enforcement officer is about $35 an hour.
Well, I was gonna say, you ain't gonna work for it. Because when you flip this over on the backside, you gotta have an electrical license and everything else.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
But you gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah, we don't do electrical yet, but we might, you know.
Yeah. My son's doing his journeyman right now and stuff.
Yeah, Tom.
Jesse, the contractor,
Uh,
so that he knows his stuff. I know him personally,
okay, yeah,
and I've had dealings with him in the past.
yeah,
He's a contractor.
yeah.
So he knows, when he goes in, he knows what he's doing.
What he's looking at.
He knows what he's looking at. He's not just gonna go in
Yeah.
like this. He knows when he's looking at a building, he knows what he's looking at. He knows the stuff that he should be seeing when he goes in, so he's got the training. He's built houses,
Hmm?
he's built decks, he's built garages, he's built commercial establishments.
All right, well, I don't think that there's anything else that we need to do tonight, other than I'll call Jess and tell him that he's been appointed after I've talked to Don, to see if he will come in and help him transition, or at least get us through a period.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if only you wanna talk to him, instead of me.
I'll go in the difference to me.
He may want to ask for an appointment if he's supposed to be doing any work.
Well, he'll have to be appointed, yeah, if he's gonna come in and serve, because he, at this point, he's not a code enforcement officer.
Right, he hasn't been as of
So we will appoint him for
a week or two.
a term or, you know, whatever, but, week, not just last Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Actually, tonight.
Wednesday, that's when he gave his resignation.
Was Wednesday.
Yeah.
That day.
And, yeah, technically, tonight, when we accepted his resignation.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the storm damage on the roads. We passed this over a little late.
I think we heard, hope we heard the worst.
Picture Storm Elliott and make it worse.
Really?
It was real bad. Everything, when we went home last night, everyone could get one way or another.
So you're just catching things?
We basically made it so everything had one lane, and if that's what they got, that's what they got.
Yeah.
And it wasn't pretty.
You got to prioritize it.
It was get everyone so they could get home or out or an ambulance in.
Right.
Fire trucks, well, that's questionable, but, we're working our way through West Baldwin. I've done the shoulder of the roads, including the giant one that I could have lost a 1 ton into if I would have just drove it in and left it. We could have buried it and said our prayers. Maybe I had to lay it on the
Better
side,
make good
but-
base road for base of the road.
There's a lot of damage. There's a lot of damage comes with a big ouch to the budget. We've had the 4 trucks hauling steady for 2 days. We've got Douglas Hills halfway done with the shoulders. The worst part of it's well done. There's a couple spots here and there on the shoulder that still needs to be fixed. Bowie Road is pretty much done. New Road's been patched. Dearborn Road, you were up there, how?
Yeah, I just gotta finish the turnaround up.
That's at the beginning.
Yeah. That road is very soft,
Yeah,
very soft, like the 1 tons were making the pavement sink,
yeah.
so we'll see
On the
what.
fire truck, make the pavement safe when we were up there with,
Yeah.
in the winter time.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens on Friday.
When the welder goes through.
Yeah, if we have a road left. So we're gonna keep plugging away at it, and I know up by Stevie's house, it's 1 lane only. We lost a lot of hot top this time versus last time. You know, we lost a lot of shoulder last time, this time we lost hot top.
It's worse down by the cat guy's house. I mean, where the brook run across the road. Guy's got the trailer with all the cats down by Ed,
That ain't nothing.
compared to what it was when you first got up in the morning, right, at your
Oh,
house.
yeah, that hot top finally dropped since when I left.
My wife, she was driving the car today, when I was driving around just checking things, and went, she didn't know if she wanted to drive over it or not. I said, you'll be fine.
You go up to the house?
Yeah, I went up to the intersection of the mountain road, turned around and come back,
Yeah.
yeah.
Remarkably, the dirt section of Mountain Road held up pretty well.
Really, I was just gonna ask that.
Yeah, it was pretty much from that culvert above my house down that took the hardest, but we went all the way up to Madison.
Now, how was it on the other side of the mountain? Have you been up there yet?
Is the other side of Mountain Road or Saddleback?
Saddleback.
Saddleback's passable.
It's very rough.
I don't know where it was on it.
It washed out in one spot, we got it fixed yesterday, but it washed out on the West Baldwin side, washed across the road. I think I put, 24 yards of gravel into it and got it patched. And then,
Trouble is, everything is so wet right now, it's hard to,
oh yeah.
you're working with slaw.
Yep. So, and then Winston Road completely washed out again.
Where are you getting your fill?
where am I getting it? Depends on which end of town I'm on. West Baldwin, I've been hauling out of Kyle's. When they were in North Baldwin, they were hauling out of Del Cressy's.
Because, Jess Winter was in here the other day, and he said, Dwight Mills is out of 3/4.
Yeah.
Parsonsfield going, what the hell am I gonna do now?
Yeah. We haven't put any 3/4 down, so.
It's too small.
Yeah.
You need stuff with some rock in it right now.
I've been putting mainly 4-inch in everything.
Yeah, really.
4-inch minus quarry gravel into everything.
Yeah.
And lots of it, with a little bit 1.5 to where I need it, like driveways and stuff like that. I've been top coating it with 1.5, but it's been mainly 4-inch, so.
Or riprap, one or the other. I mean, you've got some places where you could use riprap.
The 4-inch quarry gravel's pretty bony, so that's, works
We
pretty
get
good.
too bad. Of course, yesterday we had both the loader and the backhoe on the road. He went one way and I went the other, and we put the trucks up, so we couldn't load ourselves. So usually we take the tail ends down back,
Yeah,
and that's what I did first, ran up the winter.
Took tailings.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger off.
Yeah. But whatever come out of this winter sand, went into the truck.
Well, you've got to have something that stabilizes the
Yeah.
soil, because what's happening is, we get so much rain so quick that it's flushing the sand right out.
Yeah, let's not have any more of these.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But we're looking ahead at this global warming thing and everything we're talking about, and we're gonna see more of this.
Hope not.
No, we're not.
There was a foot of water over River Road.
Yeah, that nice bridge at River Road, I got a picture to show you. It went over the road.
Did it?
Oh, yeah.
The bridge.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Those culverts were at full tilt and it was still flowing over. So, I met Bob there about, I don't know, what time did you come across?
7:30,
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was about
Yeah,
7:30,
a couple
8.
hours after us.
So, I went down before 6, I was there at 5:45, and she was flowing right across the road.
Them suckers are no longer in that brook.
No, they are not.
They're in the Saco River.
I rest assure you, there are no more fish there.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of damage, we're picking away at it, doing our best.
I kinda expected it down Albrook, down the road, being over the road.
If we was smart, we should hold the flag.
Yeah, we should've.
My father was complaining about that. I mean, it's going over the dam, you really,
It would've helped only a short time, it would've gone back over it anyways.
yeah. And
Oh,
you
we
would
took the
flush
dam with it.
Flush it with, yeah.
Everybody knows it was gonna rain this much.
I was hoping it would take the whole.
Well, when I went to bed at midnight,
Both.
we only got about an inch and a half of rain.
Great time.
When I got up at 4 o'clock to do chores, and I looked out my front door, how in the heck am I gonna get out my driveway?
Like a river running down your road.
Good thing you had that little Mahindra.
Yeah. Yep. Oh.
I see there's some big rocks, I mean, that's in that road and every stuff. It's a good thing they was there, a little late to stop some of the stuff.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a while, we'll get to it. We'll figure out the paving side of things, cause we lost more hot top on,
Every road.
yeah, Brown Road. Yeah.
Bad snow, quick.
Mhm.
Like I say, when you're trying to fix the area where it's all soup,
Yeah.
you know?
I'm looking at it this way, we're not the only towns.
No, we were supposed to be in class today, actually, we were supposed to be in Paris doing a, maintaining gravel roads class. I know, right?
You're doing the practical part.
I'm doing the practical, yeah, and she sent out an email on Monday and was like, I heard we got a lot of rain down that way, does anyone wanna reschedule, is anyone still gonna? I think every town except for like Auburn was like, yeah, we're not going.
Yeah.
So it's been rescheduled.
When I heard it was like all coastal, Bangor didn't get anything, all in that area didn't get anything.
I know like Fayette sent a picture and they had culverts rolling down their hot top road, but just, he goes, I had 2 runaways.
We'll be a week getting this squared around.
I bet it'll be this week and next week before we're actually in halfway sheet shape.
Yeah. Joe, you got anything else?
No,
Kathy?
Yep, couple things. Candidates night, the Monday before we have the town meeting at the library. Just wanna let you know, we're gonna host it again. Let people talk to you guys, but you guys would have to be there, is that gonna work?
I'll be there, I'm not a candidate, but I'll be there.
No, but to answer questions about the warrant.
Oh, done over the warrant, sure.
Sure.
Yep.
Are there any candidates that are gonna be running? Do we know?
I think Owen is rerunning, isn't he?
I think he is.
That's too bad, cause it almost killed him last time.
No, for school board.
Oh,
Oh,
school
school
board,
board, yeah, I was gonna say,
Dale
I think we
Minor.
managed.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we've got some
Selectmen.
candidates we can
Yep.
interview, chat with. Cool.
Quick, you're gonna take over this.
Yeah, but he didn't turn him in.
Okay. Well, anyway, there'll
No,
be things to talk about.
he did turn them in, but then he changed his mind.
will that be on the 29th?
Isn't the meeting on the tenth?
That's what June is.
I mean, well, Monday,
So the Monday
Monday
before.
before that, so the,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking, the week before that.
Oh, okay. And that'll be at 7 p.m.
7 p.m., okay.
The other is that some friends are getting together to do a reception for Norma after the funeral on Sunday, which is from 2 to 3. And the reception will be 3:30 to 5 at the library. Service, celebration of life, whatever, is at, the East Walden Church.
At 2.
From 2 to 3, yeah. Other than that, the library's doing pretty well. Mary Cobb and her storytelling seems to get more and more people all the time. The parents are staying after and having chats, that's what it was all designed for. So the kids are really getting an education, along with maybe learning how to read. So this is all good, all good.
Remember when we built the library, it said that, I think Joe said the future of the library will be the children.
Yep.
And I mean, it's taken 20 years now, but it's starting to come around.
Yep, COVID slowed things down considerably, but we're getting more people, we get a few new patrons every month, and it seems to be going well.
That's good.
It is, it's very good news. And the community auxiliary will be doing a, flea market, what is it, first weekend in June.
Oh, the yard sale, yeah.
Yard sale.
Yeah. And we're doing the bake sale at the town meeting.
Yeah, and lunch.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's it.
Well, if you get anything more,
No, not yet.
Give an hour.
Steve, you ready to go to bed? Bet you are. Robin?
I have a few things. Megan had, when we requested, to meet with her, she came back with, Thursday or Friday of this week. What day and time would work best?
Either day for me, anytime.
And for me,
I can
well,
do
if
it.
you could, I think so. There's a lot of driver duty this week. So maybe, 1 o'clock, maybe?
1 o'clock on Thursday?
Yeah.
And then, it appeared from emails that various dates were being thrown about for Santon meeting. And Jimmy, you mentioned something about a regular meeting, were you referring to select board meeting?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And one of those days is the tri-town meeting. And,
So, whatever you come up with, but we just have to try to get it, enough in advance so that I can throw an ad in the shopping guide.
Yeah.
And then the other thing was, we need to consider advertising for a, Sand Pond Beach assistant to help Chad.
Yeah, yes, we gotta get on that.
So I don't know if that's something that you wanna talk to, them about, or if you want me to just go ahead and do it, so.
Go ahead and do it, because we're getting down to the, something's
Yeah.
coming fast, so we gotta start advertising now.
Well, you know, in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you'll be at the beach.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I'd just like to, say that, a while back, we, you all actually voted to, have the workshops remain workshops, and, agreed to, if we needed to, make decisions and vote at the workshops, that, minutes would be taken and the meetings would be recorded. Bob had advocated kind of, for, having all meetings, and having all meetings recorded. So if we're still calling them workshops, regardless of whether we're making decisions or not, I support Bob in thinking that we should, have them recorded, because whether it's a workshop meeting or a regular workshop, his position was transparency at the time, and, I don't think everybody agrees with that, regardless of whether it's select board or planning board or what. It's not comfortable being on camera, but I think, you know, things can be misinterpreted regardless of whether or not you're in a meeting with some folks or whether or not you're on camera. Things can be taken out of context, but I think, it's just good, to have meetings recorded. That's just my opinion, and I'm putting it out there.
I will say that I talk to a lot of people who say they don't come to the meetings, but they do look at the recordings.
Right.
And they read the minutes. And, I'm not sure that just reading the minutes will give you a
Full effect of it.
full effect. I'm not sure that our watching them give you the full effect either, because our,
We need that.
microphones, our microphones primarily need to be upgraded.
Right, I mean, they should be.
And people like me who don't talk loud enough.
Yeah, right.
And bubble under their breath. But
Well, it's all on your voice projection, and you do not project your voice.
I'll say, sitting here, I don't hear you guys a lot of times.
When I go back, because I'm the person that, and a big part of why I'm chatting about this now is because I'm the one that snips and clips and uploads to YouTube.
So you're.
So I don't have a problem with hearing Dwight or Jimmy, but, Bob's voice does not project well. But Sarah recently took, some new clerk, training, and they discussed the freedom of access and all of that, and that's something that, all officers and folks in the town office are going to need to do regardless of the department, planning board, CEO, everybody is one of the things that was really encouraged to do, and, one of the things that was covered was meeting notes, and it was discouraged, to take complete notes. When I first started, obviously not having a background in this sort of thing, I'm looking at all these various towns, their meeting notes actually look like agendas. They were so brief that you basically, you know.
Didn't know.
Right, and speaking with the selectmen too, encouraged me to take more thorough notes if that's what I wanted to do, so that's what I've been doing. But, what Sarah learned was that, things can get misquoted.
Sure.
Especially when you get into lengthy conversations back and forth. And, so with the freedom of access stuff, it's best not to do that. And, the video actually, at the end of the day, could entirely replace the minutes. All you're required to do is to have kind of a roll call, the time you open, adjournment, decisions made, and the outcomes of those decisions.
You need the motions,
Yep.
and what the outcome, and whether they passed or failed by how many.
But
You're
by
not
recording too
required
much.
to put an agenda out in advance, so it's very minimal. And like she said, the law says that you can use the video as a replacement for the minutes. But I'm not saying that we ought to do that, but I'm just saying that we ought to videotape everything, just so that people know, I think people come to expect it. And if you don't do it, then they think maybe you're hiding something.
I think we've stayed pretty open.
Yeah.
Just from what things have done in the past.
But everybody looks at a certain situation, everybody sees a car wreck a different way. Sure. You know, from a different angle. And we all have our own truths and our own perceptions, and, I think it's just important to have that transparency.
It doesn't require a vote to do it, but I think just as a policy, I would say that we ought to record the workshops. Doesn't take anything out of us.
No.
I think we can
No,
still
I think
keep
it's a good
them,
idea.
we can still, I think we can comfortably still carry on workshops in the other room, and, it's up to you, of course, if, in terms of, keeping those workshops and taking specific notes when decisions are made, but recording all the time is the best practice.
Why don't we just call them all meetings, regular meetings, instead of workshop and.
Well, that's one of the other things she said, is just call it a selectmen's meeting.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can say is, nice about a workshop is that, yes, not that we're tremendously formal here, but you are not able to meet and talk outside of meetings.
Right.
So, with a workshop setting, you're able to kind of toss things around and not have to focus so much on making a decision. That's my perception. It
Absolutely.
could be wrong, but, having that ability to speak freely and openly, and, okay, well, maybe we'll table it, maybe we'll decide. And perhaps that's what people do at regular, selectmen meetings elsewhere, but.
I thought that was the intent of the workshop, is, when I first came on, the workshop was to discuss what was gonna be discussed the next meeting.
Or something else.
Or something, like less formal, that's why it wasn't really
But unfortunately,
being
we're.
recorded.
Right.
When we started recording, it wasn't being recorded because, we discussed things that were gonna be discussed the next meeting.
Mhm.
Yeah. that's what-
There's a, a lot of truth in that, but unfortunately, we're having to move at a much faster pace on a daily basis, in decision-making, and it's very difficult to just keep putting things off and off. I mean, I'm bombarded all day long.
It just built, within 2 weeks, it'll build up quite a bit.
Yeah, and, I don't know.
Yeah, we just be spacing things out, so not so much on each meeting.
The world is changing.
Yeah, I got no problem with that.
Think about it before we start the next workshop. Get ready to make a decision.
If I could say from my experience on the school board, where things are slowed down to the point of, a fast decision would be 3 months. No, seriously.
Yeah.
And, the planning board where a fast decision would be a month and a half. There are some advantages in that you can sit around and talk about something and you've got just the opinion of the primary group talking. And you talk about it and that prompts other people to talk, and after a while you get information back. And I found that especially true on the school board, not so much true on the planning board, but the school board really needed that information to go out there and information to flow back. And I think when you're making decisions on closing a road, you maybe don't have the latest information because you don't know everybody who lives on that road.
Right.
Or has a summer place, you think, and you spread the word out and find out, no, they live there full time. And it's just, that sort of thing that happens. It's just my 2 cents.
You always have a public hearing on road closing.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean though, right?
It just, even if if it's one notice, we're gonna have a public meeting, it's,
Yep.
sometimes you need a couple weeks.
I think we do fairly well in getting public input during the meeting.
Yeah.
You do.
Well, like tonight was a good example.
Yeah,
People from River Road was here.
River Road's hot talk.
It is, it's always has been, it's,
Right.
yeah.
We keep trying year after year to get money flowing into it, and then things happen and redivert the funds somewhere else, we gotta come back and decide again.
Well, we're building the fund up all the time and stuff, we got money there, we just don't have enough money to do what we wanna do.
Are you keeping up with inflation?
No,
No.
probably
Well,
not.
prices
No,
increase.
right.
No, I mean, that's,
Right.
No way.
I mean,
Now it's even worse than ever.
Right, yeah.
It's glacial before, it's monumental now.
Yeah.
I appreciate that there was the discussion for the sake of the people who live on the River Road. They feel secure that they understand what's going on.
Right, yeah.
If you don't understand what's going on, that's horrible.
You got different things running through your head and.
The Teflon
Yeah.
road,
Poor thing.
I don't wanna say nothing.
No,
It's everyone's perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's all the road crews' fault.
yeah.
You better believe it. Road commissioners, horrible.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're doing well, guys. Keep it up.
Yeah, I haven't heard any complaints.
No.
Well, they're gonna-
You want my emails?
Not like I used to. I mean, about you guys personally,
Oh.
not like I used to.
Should've been in the cab in the back with me yesterday.
It was a few yesterday, I guess. If we weren't sitting at the garage all the time, we'd have better roads.
It's
Oh,
true.
that must be it.
Oh, really?
Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks.
My son Dan was very grateful for the work you did on the new road. He commented to me on it.
That was a disaster, he wasn't sure how he was gonna get out to work.
That was easy one, I think.
It amazes me the number of people that live on these back roads though, and run a car as small as Lobster.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
I mean, when the snowstorm comes, or when an ice storm comes, I mean, it's nice to have a button you can just push.
Right,
Yeah.
get a little traction.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. I don't take my Mini out in snowstorms. I drive the truck.
I move that we adjourn.
I got one thing.
What?
Could you ask Steve if he's thinking about appointing new people to write burning permits? My father's been writing permits, but he likes doing it, he'll keep doing it. but-
It has been discussed
Okay.
already.
I guess my father's been getting a lot of complaints from people that they call the other two, and they don't answer their phone.
Well, you can get them online,
I know.
And they're free now.
Some people like.
and one of them, and one of them doesn't even live in town, anymore, or isn't hardly in town. It was discussed.
Okay.
But I will follow up with him on it.
Okay. I guess my father got a lot of complaints and they called the other two and they just.
Cause it actually wouldn't be Steve. He doesn't.
Yeah, it'd be Kyle,
Oh, that's right, too, Kyle, Kyle.
but I will bring it up to both of them,
Yeah.
so everyone's in the loop.
Okay, yeah, that's right, too. I forgot about that. All right, go ahead.
Second my own motion.
I'll second it. Oh, I read your report, looks good.